Well, we know that the Eagles are missing one thing on this offense, okay? Maybe two things, but most importantly, we haven't had a deep threat to Philadelphia since Alshon Jackson. I know we had Torrey Smith last year winning the Super Bowl. Torrey Smith showing up where it counts. And over a little bit over 300 yards, receiving for Torrey Smith last year. And it really didn't have, I think he was more of a decoy on the field last year, but he made plays where they counted, okay, especially in the playoffs. Both the Falcons, the Vikings game, and making a nice, really good first down catch, a very tough first down catch in the Super Bowl. Now, the Eagles need a deep threat. The Eagles need it badly, okay? You already got the Alshon Jackson rumors all over the place because he's not going to be staying in Tampa Bay. Alshon Jackson's already said he wants to play for the Rams. I don't even care about Alshon Jackson anymore because all he does is bullshit out of his mouth 24/7. So if you want to pick a cheap option, okay, if you want to pick a cheap option, I'm saying free agency, guys. Now, coming into, when I did my free agent videos last year, there was one guy that I talked about that was going to be cheap, with a guy with just a little over 300 yards in Arizona last year. And then coming to the Baltimore Ravens, John Brown. Okay, John Brown signed a one-year, $5 million deal, which gave him $4 million guaranteed. So it was pretty much a prove-it deal. 715 yards on 42 receptions, 17 yards per catch. Now, not bad. Not bad. He's progressively gotten to a better offense, which he did. Joe Flacco, kind of failed to be the starter until Lamar Jackson came in after Flacco's injury and kind of lit it up a little bit. But kind of seeing Lamar Jackson's true colors, not really being that throwing quarterback, mostly not staying in the pocket too long and really just not being patient and just going and just running around the field. And it got kind of tiring to watch, especially if I was a Baltimore Ravens fan, I'd be pretty tired of watching that. So, a free agent to be in John Brown. What do you get out of this kid? You're getting a pretty damn talented 4.3 speed receiver, okay? Not the tallest guy, not the biggest guy, okay? He is just used for speed. His longest touchdown this past year with the Ravens was, I think, a 72-yard touchdown. And averaging, like I said, 17 yards a catch. John Brown, I think he's a cheap guy. He's a cheap option for the Eagles. And I'm not just saying that. You think, oh, he's going to get paid. He's not going to get paid, okay? He might not get paid like everyone thinks he's going to get paid, okay? John Brown had a 700-yard year, okay? But he needs the right quarterback to throw him the ball, and he needs the right weapons on the other side. And I think with Ertz in the game, with Ertz, Nelly, and having Alshon Jeffery on the other side will really help John Brown's game, especially on the 1v1s. I've always liked John Brown. John Brown has torched us, has the Cardinals used to own us, okay? And we always had trouble containing John Brown. We've always had trouble with him. Then, we didn't face the Ravens last year, but John Brown was quick off the line, and some of these, obviously some of these throws that John Brown was getting this year were pretty bad and out of his range. Since he's a small guy, you really can't put much, you really can't throw anything too much forward. He could dive, he's got good leap ability, but if the Eagles are not expected to draft a receiver in the first round of the NFL draft, they have to dip in the free agency. And I mean that entirely. Unless they're just looking for a guy with good speed, better than Shelton Gibson. Guys that could do something. And I'm hoping that John Brown could maybe sign with the Eagles and maybe do something, make a little noise, because we really need it. I mean, we can't have Zach Ertz running vertical routes. We need that guy to go out there, get those deep balls, and we have the quarterback that could do it, because when Carson Wentz is having his whole offseason finally coming off the leg injury this past year and not looking like himself with that back fracture he's had for several weeks. So I'm expecting a much healthier and a much better and a take-back avenge year for Carson Wentz. And you need a deep threat to at least open the field up. Because once the Eagles get a deep threat receiver and at least try to figure out that running back position, John Brown could fix a lot of things. But if the Eagles are not getting a receiver in the first round, which I don't think they are, I'm thinking defense 100% totally. Defensive line, totally. That's just my opinion. And I made a video on John Brown last offseason. That was before we got Alshon Jeffery. That's when I thought that we wouldn't even have Alshon Jeffery, that he was going to be too expensive, that he was going to go to another team. The Vikings jumped in. The Colts jumped in. But Alshon Jeffery took a chance on a one-year deal, getting about $8 million and making an impact and proving himself and playing with a rotator cuff injury that's just crazy. And the way he played all year, I wouldn't think he was even injured. But now you have a shot. Bring John Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles. Put the wings on his helmet. Bring him over here. And the guy is a burning speed. He's just a burner. Okay, the only thing that it is, you got to throw him the right balls, and offensive coordinator Mike Rose got to do the right thing with this offense, okay? And partly that is the quarterback position right now and getting Wentz back on track. So I want a deep threat, and I'm not even thinking about Deshaun Jackson because he just talks a bunch of nonsense. I'm thinking about John Brown right now. John Brown, and not a bad option. You know, free agency, you thought he was going to be cheap last year, and he wasn't. He signed a $5 deal, $5 million deal for 1 year. That's all he signed. This year, he might get a little bit more, but it's not going to be that much more. He had 700 yards last year. You know what I mean? 5 touchdowns. But I would take a chance. This is only if the Eagles are not drafting a wide receiver in the first round, and that's pretty much it, because and if they don't make, you know, Aguilar being traded, or I don't know what's going on with the rest of that. But, you know, I've wanted John Brown since last year. Okay, and we ended up getting Torrey Smith, which I was fine with. I had no problem. We were trying to get Torrey Smith the past few years. Okay, but I think John Brown could have a future with this team. Maybe a rental for 2 years. Maybe I wouldn't put him on a high deal. I wouldn't put him on like a 5-year deal. But you know, he's 28 years old right now, so he's in the highlight of his career. So why wouldn't he want to come to this team? He's not going to want to go to a bad roster. No player does, but he's got a nice speed ability, a get-off ability from the line, and I've always thought highly of him. I think he has to be put in a good environment around him, and he will thrive. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think of John Brown coming to the Eagles. I know this is a long video about John Brown, but I wanted to kind of get through the aspects of why, and if we do this, then we can't do this. If we can't do this, we should do this. So that's why I kind of want to go through things. So sorry for if it's a long video. I will see you guys later. Shakes going up. Fly, goes fly.